Good morning, folks. Welcome. I'm Brenda Seiler, lifestyle reporter for the Washington Informer, and we're doing a special pop-up Informer Live today, and it's all about music. And I'm really excited with our guests that we have here today, Nolan Williams Jr. and Scott Tucker. They are co-artistic directors of something brand new in our town. It's the Washington Douglass Chorale. Individually, they've had outstanding and successful careers in the Washington, D.C. area and beyond in music. But they're here today in partnership with the new chorale and with the program that's coming up. Gentlemen, welcome. And we are so happy to have you with us.
So Brenda, great to be here. Thank you, Brenda.
Indeed.
And it's wonderful to hear about this new adventure, the Washington Douglass Chorale. Nolan, get us started on that.
Well, again, Brenda, thank you so much for having us, and to all of our friends at the Washington Informer. We're just so grateful, Denise and the whole crew, for your support through the years. Washington Douglass Chorale is the region's newest semi-professional chorus, and we got started earlier this year, but the vision for this was cast probably several months ago, almost a year ago. It started with a project probably that some of your viewers would be familiar with, the African American Requiem that was performed at the Kennedy Center last year. Damian Jeter's work, along with some of my works, were performed with a chorus of racially diverse folk from this region, from, was it Oregon, Scott, or Seattle?
Portland, Oregon.
Yeah, Portland, Oregon. So singers came together with the New Works Philharmonic Orchestra, and it was just a wonderful merging of voices, of experiences, of races, of folk who are all committed to social justice and wanted to make this profound statement through this music about the relevance of social justice in our times, in honoring those who have been victims of racialized violence. So it was through that project that we came together. And Scott, I'll let you take it from there, because you reached out to me after that project to kind of get this going.
Yeah, so that was all the way back in May of 2022. It was like a year and a half ago. And we knew each other for a while, Nolan and I, through the years, and have a lot of mutual respect. So doing this project together, was great fun, and it was really gratifying, not just, for the singers, the audience, and the instrument, but really for us. And so we wanted to see about working together again. So I had been approached the idea of starting a new chorus. And I went right to Nolan and I said, let's do this. Let's build a chorus that really reflects the face of one. And so we decided, we would do that. We'd build a chorus that really showed the diversity of Washington, D.C. itself. And we've been, every chorus about music, and we're all about the excellence of the music, but through that experience, we're trying to build a real community that transcends, racial barriers.
But I think that the name of the chorale is interesting. Douglass is spelled with two S's on the end. Immediately, it made me think of Frederick Douglass.
Exactly.
And how he spelled his name, and what we want D.C. to be called when it becomes a state. Is that kind of the rhythm, to use the pun rhythm?
You got it. You win a prize.
You guessed it. So Brenda, you have followed my work through the years, and so you are aware of the documentary that I co-wrote, directed, and produced called Becoming Douglass Commonwealth. And that documentary was released a couple of years ago. And it really traces the complicated history of the District of Columbia becoming the capital of the nation, and then it raises the questions of how valid is it for the city to become a state, and we deal with all of the opposition points. And we ask folk who are viewing the documentary to draw their own conclusions from that. But it's from that piece really that I was inspired to recommend this name, because as we aspire as a city to have the full rights of citizenship of everyone else in this nation, I think there's something deeply symbolic and meaningful about this chorale also using that name, Washington and Douglass, Frederick Douglass, the merging of races, the merging of traditions, the merging of cross-cultural understandings, and this idea of us coming together, aspiring for something that is greater than ourselves.
Well, let's talk about the performance this coming Sunday. That is going to be the 3rd of December.
Mhm.
And it's called Noel, A Glorious Mystery. And it has an exclamation point after mystery, which I think is a mystery. So we'll find out more about that. But it's going to be at the National United Methodist Church on Nebraska Avenue in the American University area. And tell us about this concert and what we are going to enjoy and who else will be a part of it, in addition to the two of you and the chorale.
Well, one thing that really was so energizing and exciting was programming this concert, because we wanted to present music from different traditions with really equal respect. And Nolan knows a whole bunch of music, and I know a whole bunch of music, and we have, of course, a lot of overlap of what we know. But there is a significant amount of music that he knows that I don't, and that I know that he doesn't. And so when we started to talk about programming this concert, it was really exciting. It was a sense of momentum, as I would suggest one piece, and we'd listen to it, and maybe he didn't know it, and then he'd say, this really reminds me of this piece, which I didn't know. And so we developed the program that way. And so you'll hear themes in this concert, the theme of the manger, the theme of the wise men, the theme of the angels singing Gloria, and all of that. But you'll hear it from different points of view, from jazz-informed gospel, from Nolan's own arrangements, all the way to music of, Sweelinck, this Renaissance composer, or Poulenc, this 20th century French composer. So lots of similar themes heard from different points of view. And it was really exciting to program, and I think we're both excited to present it.
And this is our first concert. This is our premiere. So we hope folk will join us. If you're curious about this new chorale, or if you just love good music or looking for a great way to kick off your holiday, join us this coming Sunday at National United Methodist Church.
Yes, I encourage everybody to look into attending the inaugural concert of the Washington Douglass Chorale. And you can go online to their website, washingtondouglasschorale.org. That's Washington Douglass with 2 S's, chorale.org. The concert is at 5:00 p.m. And what I am looking forward to, I love listening to choral music. I'm a native Washingtonian, attended LaSalle Elementary School, where we had a chorale that was formed in our elementary school.
Mm-hmm.
And I just remember how hard we worked on O Come, Emmanuel. And it's still one of my favorite choral music pieces, when it's really done with the air of perfection, because that's where I learned to love choral music. So I'm excited, and I'm excited for you all to be bringing this back to us. Now, who is going to be your MC this Sunday?
Allison Seymour from WUSA 9 is going to be our MC, and we are delighted to have Allison with us.
And we have an orator who is right here with us on screen. It's going to be
you,
Scott.
Our orator is none other than the Scott Tucker.
Nolan has written this, spectacularly moving setting of Langston Hughes' Silent Night. And so it's the orator part is, the Langston Hughes text against Nolan's setting. And it's really, I mean, it's not to be missed. It's very, very moving and beautiful.
Thank you.
And our co-executive producer of the show today, Sherry Lassiter, who is also the photo editor of the Washington Informer, she has just informed me she's a member of the Alfred A. Owens Chorale at Greater Mount Calvary Holy Church. So, hey, we're the right people for you to be talking to right now, because we know what's going on. And I just want to congratulate you on coming together
Thank
for
you.
this event and for putting together a wonderfully diverse chorale in terms of music background and music delivery, the personnel in the chorale. This is just going to be so wonderful for us. And to present this program this Sunday for the holiday season, this is going to be great. So thank you so much, Scott and Nolan. And Nolan is going to stay with us. But before we move on to a little more conversation with Nolan, I want to remind our audience that don't forget on Friday, we will still be airing at noon the regular weekly version of Win TV, Let's Talk, and there are going to be a lot of wonderful segments on that. But please join everybody this Sunday, the Washington Douglass Chorale, and it's going to be a wonderful time. It'll help get you more into the holiday spirit. So thank you. So
Thank
Nolan,
you.
let's continue with you. And you have so many titles. When I started going through all the things that you have done, I said, that's just too much.
Listen,
just too much.
Just leave it at hardworking brother.
Yes, thank you. Hardworking brother Nolan Williams Jr. has still got a lot on his plate. You heard him allude to earlier about his commitment to DC statehood. Yeah. I had a chance to attend an exhibition that he curated earlier this year with some students, I believe, that at the Washington History Museum. It was Home Rule 50, and that's, believe it or not, DC wasn't voting in the way that it does today until about 50 years ago. That kicked it off. That was my first year of college. But let's talk about some of the other things you're doing. You produce an award-winning musical, Grace. That's still going on, but share with our audience some of the wonderful things that you continue to do.
Sure. So let me just say that exhibition, DC Home Rule 50, is still on exhibit at the DC History Center. So you can go to the Apple Carnegie Library to the second floor and see that exhibit. It's a beautiful tribute to Home Rule, DC Home Rule, and a reminder of the fact that that struggle is still ongoing, that we still need to persevere until the citizens of the District of Columbia have full participation in our democracy. And, my work is driven by cultural curiosities, civil rights, and social justice. I mean, that's really what much of my work centers around, and I'm always seeking to find ways to engage people around that and to leverage the arts to convene conversations, even sometimes inconvenient conversations. Mm-hmm. And so in that spirit, we're now prepping for Let Freedom Ring. This is I believe it's my 19th year serving as music producer and co-producer of that. And I'm thrilled to partner again through my New Works Productions with Georgetown University and the Kennedy Center, also Nouveau Productions, in bringing that to the community this year. And, that's always a great experience. We are not able to announce the guest artists yet, but, for those who have followed the Let Freedom Ring through the years, we've had Shaka Khan and Patti LaBelle and Gladys Knight and Yolanda Adams and Bobby McFerrin. I mean, heavyweights, Brian Stokes Mitchell, Audra McDonald. So I promise that our headliner this year will not disappoint. But then we always add community elements into that as well. And one of the things I can share is that we'll be premiering a work that I've been commissioned by Georgetown to compose that is commemorating the 60th anniversary of Freedom Summer. And I'm very excited that we will be premiering that work. The piece is called Rise Up and Fight. You're hearing it here on the
All
Washington
right.
Informer for the first time. That is the name of the piece that we will be premiering. And that actually will be a kickoff for a campaign that we're going to be doing through New Works Productions all next year to commemorate that anniversary of Freedom Summer, and a civic engagement campaign that is purposed to get people mobilized. This is a very important year. 2024 is a very important year that we're about to enter. And it's important that our voices are heard, particularly at the ballot box, that we all work proactively to move our country in the direction that we think that it should go. And my hope is that everyone will vote. And then once everyone has voted, the votes will all be counted. And then whatever the outcome is, we accept that as a democracy and we continue to move forward.
I love the way that you are able to very easily weave what you do into a significant point in history and a significant place where we need to go. So to make sure that we know not only is it an election year, a very important election year in 2024, but it is also a remembrance of the summer of 60 years ago, the 60th anniversary.
Yeah, 1964.
And also you're able to do the majority of your work under the umbrella of your own production company, New Work, which is I love that as well. You put your stamp on it. We know it is a product of Nolan Williams Jr.
Yeah, and one of the things I've become really good at, Brenda, is going to people who are working in silos and saying, hey, I have an idea, and this idea is in keeping with your mission. Doesn't it make sense that we should all just come together and do this cooperatively? And I've been really good about getting folk to kind of coalesce around that, and I'm grateful for that. But it makes sense that there's greater power when we come together and pool resources and pool our strengths, right? In order to accomplish things that in and of ourselves we can never, do as effectively. So very excited. And let me add, we have a history of doing these civic engagement campaigns. So going back to when we launched I Have a Right to Vote during the last national election cycle, and that voting rights anthem that we released, over 2 million social media hits globally. We had some 30 organizations that partnered with us to push that out. We received 2 media prizes for that project. And and we got picked up by all of the mainstream media, from BBC to CNN to Associated Press. It was just a hugely successful project. Similarly with our America Song project that we put out during the last presidential transition, when we were trying to just bring the nation back to a place of recognizing the sanctity of the peaceful transfer of power. That project, 1.3 million global views. People just recognizing, okay, there is a certain way that we should transition and we should respect that process. Our Woke campaign, which we launched, which was a digital civic engagement campaign, over 3.5 million views. So we have a little history of doing this and doing it pretty successfully. And so I'm very excited about how this Freedom Summer campaign will go. You asked about Grace. So you want to talk about Grace?
We have a couple of minutes to talk about Grace, and it's still riding high.
Grace is doing great. Yeah. And you came to see the premiere of Grace at Ford's, and Brenda,
yes,
you're
I
always
did. So and as you know, I covered that too.
Yep, you sure did. You sure did. So Nicole Salter and I, my co-book writer, we've been doing a lot of work. So let me tell you, there are a lot of changes in store for that project. We think they're great changes. We've had a chance to really learn from the Ford's production, what was working, what wasn't working as well, understand better the story that we really want to tell, to deepen the relationships of the characters. And so we've done a series of um, work sessions, beginning with going to Orlando earlier this year to work with actors there, and to just see how the first act, as we have retooled it, was coming together, and that was a huge success, thankfully. So now next year we're doing 2 more work sessions. One will be in February here. It'll be a closed kind of reading where we'll bring people together to focus on Act 2. And then in June of next year, we're going to New York, and we're going to do a more structured 2-week work session around that project, bring our investors in, bring industry folk in to kind of see where that project is. All of that leading to the remounting of Grace during the 24-25 theatrical season. Can't yet announce where it's going to be.
Okay.
It won't be here in DC, I can say that. But
Okay.
we're excited that we're going to be testing that project in its new iteration in a different market, all as we tee up what will then be national tour in New York.
Okay, well, I know that you'll keep us informed. We
Of
want to
course.
follow you,
Of
and
course.
I want to again mention the annual Martin Luther King Jr. birthday concert that you do at the Kennedy Center, because it's
Yeah.
a free event.
Yes.
And you bring in top talent. Last year it was Leslie Odom Jr., who is having a successful run on Broadway right now with Pearly Victorious. I think one year I came, it was Brian Stokes Mitchell and Audra McDonald together.
Yeah, that was an amazing year.
And that is usually held on the Monday that we observe the Martin Luther King Jr. holiday. Let freedom ring.
January 15th, Monday, January 15th. Yeah.
And people, you mentioned it earlier, but you have been commissioned to premiere a new music piece with that concert every year. So everyone knows they're going to hear something exciting, new. You put in interesting twists. Like last year, there was there were high school students, and there was some spoken word. Is that correct when you did that?
Last year, actually, we featured Georgetown students.
Okay, Georgetown students. I'm sorry. Yes, the students from Georgetown University.
Yeah.
And it was a wonderful blend of bringing in all the different special qualities that each student was able to bring, and you being able to support it with the orchestration. So this is what we can expect to see next month. Month after next, we're almost in December, but in January, in observance of the Martin Luther King Jr. birthday. And again, I want to thank you for being with us. And this has been a wonderful time to chat with you about what's going on, and to let our audience know that you are the guy that delivers. You deliver wonderful, beautiful works, and we thank you for that. And all the best to you this holiday season.
Brenda, thank you. Let me send people to nolanwilliamsjr.com, NOLAN Williams Jr. JR.com. You can stay connected with me and the work that I'm doing. There's also a link there to New Works Productions, so you can also see the work that I'm doing through New Works. So thank you, Brenda, for just being a great supporter, and thank all of you for taking the time to view.
We thank you for being with us at the Washington Informer. And again, happy holidays to you, and happy holidays to all of our viewers. Take care, everyone.